Hi everyone, it's Audrey. I'm back with another video. This week I wanted to talk about something that I was thinking about a lot in my biology gen ed course. It makes sense to have physical laws like conservation of matter and energy, which are just so fundamental, and to not have a conservation of consciousness. Granted, you're the kind of person who doesn't believe that we're just a sum of our parts. I mean, I think if you do believe that the mind is separate from the body on any level, you should at least kind of acknowledge the possibility that there is a conservation of consciousness too. Material yet to be discovered that kind of ebbs and flows like energy and matter. And I don't want to make claims about necessarily what happens when we die, because that's, a huge question, I think virtually unanswerable. Another thing that I've been wanting to talk about with you guys for a little bit is the difference between science and religion. I really think increasingly that it's pretty much the same. The average person isn't a scientist. They don't really interact and work with the data that goes towards proving certain empirical truths, right? So let's say the vast majority of the population just takes what we read in studies and in newspapers to be fact. The same is virtually true of religious people. A priest presumably interacts directly with God and then lets the rest of the 99% grapple with the things that he claims to be true. So I take it completely on faith. I don't feel like we have any grasp on what our physical reality is actually like. We see ourselves as creatures of completely objective judgment, but the truth is our brains are structured in a very specific way. We've adjusted to the exact level of oxygen that's in our atmosphere, and if it was tinkered with even a little bit in terms of percentiles, we would, either get high or go to sleep. We know that colors aren't real, right? It just has to do with electrons and electron shells bouncing up or down, and we've adjusted to see color because it's important evolutionarily. If you see a fruit that's bright red, it's different than one that's kind of maybe gone bad and is a kind of dusty red. It's not seen or unseen. We pick up on photons because that's what we need to survive. I think tastes aren't real, smells aren't real, they're just our bodies and the structure of our bodies perceiving particles in the air and having those correspond to an experience exclusively in the brain. But even that doesn't really exist in any real way. I think to an indifferent God, the entire universe just looks like gray piles of bullshit, and it's nice to see that the sky is blue, but it's not really. The world is two things before anything else, and those two things are beautiful and frightening. I do think that you should think about that a little bit. What is consciousness? Where does it come from?